I spent 5 years studying America's criminal justice system. I didn't just read reports, I spoke with people living inside prisons. I talked with families who have been impacted. I watched how government actors carried out their duties. I studied cases, policies, and the lived reality. And here's what I found, is that our so-called justice system is not just broken, it's actively harming citizens. It's unjust, it's traumatizing, it creates generational harm, it wastes taxpayer dollars, and it even takes a very heavy toll on the very people who are working inside of that machine. I can say this not only as someone who has researched it as an academic doctor, but as someone who worked inside government myself for 15 years at both the state and federal levels. I know how the machine works, and I know how it fails. So I created PrisonTransparency.com. It's a website that lays out the critical leverage points that could make a huge difference if the system wanted to reform. But I also know this, the system resists change. It does not want to be fixed. Too many people benefit from the status quo. That's why I believe the first step has to be telling the truth. On the website, there's a section called Share Your Story, where people impacted by the system can speak openly about what government actors and the government system more generally have done to harm them. Because unless we start with the truth, there's no hope of repair. I've done my part. I've shared my recommendations with members of Congress, with state officials, with the U.S. Sentencing Commission, with the Federal Bureau of Prisons, with anyone who has the power to act. Whether they do or not is on them, on their conscience and their karma. But what I know is this, I can rest easy knowing I told the truth. I stood up to the monster. I looked at the ugliness, and I refused to look away. And I put the information where it belongs, which is publicly available and in the hands of the people impacted by it and in the hands of those with the power to change things. So, if you care about justice, if you want to see the truth of our system laid bare, please visit PrisonTransparency.com. Read, share, and if you're impacted, tell your story. Because change won't begin with silence. It begins with the truth.